Is it fair to say that this is your first full-on like a glamorous film?
Na Jaane definitely gave me that break to kind of, change it for myself. Sridevi ji is one of her biggest numbers. People are actually enjoying the video because we have a completely different take on it. Now it's become Na Jaane Kahan Se Aaya hai. It's all about John.
What is the experience of men in terms of that? Do you think that they're generally full of themselves and they're all about I, me or me?
I think boys are like that, and especially in India, they're all mama's boys. As far as all the boys are concerned, yeah, they don't grow up.
Okay, the men don't grow up. Okay, and women give gyan. Okay.
Women like to talk.
Women like to talk, yeah.
Hi, this is Prachi Desai. You're watching BollywoodHungama.com.
We have a hugely talented Prachi Desai who's coming up with the next movie, I, Me or Me, and many would say that this is the first time that around that she's having a glamorous avatar, so to speak. Pleasure having you back on Bollywood Hungama.
Thank you.
Is it fair to say that this is your first full-on like a glamorous film, like what you're doing in Na Jaane Kahan Se Aayi Hai? I think it's something we've not seen you doing before.
That's absolutely right. Probably this is the most ever glamorous song that I've been in. Na Jaane definitely gave me that break to kind of, change it for myself. I haven't got an opportunity like this before, and with this film actually it was a lot of fun. The producers and the director always wanted this song to be a part of the film. They were a little confused about the placing, and finally when they got the rights, when T-Series got the rights, everyone was really happy. So they decided that they want to make the most of it. So we'll use it as a promotional song, which is an even better idea because you can, in a promotional video, you can go that extra bit, you can do that extra bit and take it to the next level. Keeping in mind, what John's character is in the film, what my character is in the film. Keeping that in mind, we took it to like the next level, and yeah, you can see the outcome.
Yeah, I've been just listening to all the songs and watching the videos in the morning, and even the video views, I think they're doing very well. In a very short span of time, Na Jaane especially, I think is doing extremely well. And it has a vivacious vibe to it, and I'm sure that once the movie comes out, this will be one of the, I think, biggest high points of the movie.
Probably it will. Yeah. It's a phenomenal track. Na Jaane has always been a huge hit, and it's Sridevi ji's one of her biggest numbers. It's ought to do well, and we're glad that people are actually enjoying the video because we have a completely different take on it. Now it's become Na Jaane Kahan Se Aaya hai. It's all about John. I'm glad that people are taking to it, people are liking the video, and yeah, probably it's one of the high points because we've started blasting it everywhere in order to start promotions. Before we could give out even the title track or any other track, we decided to play this.
Cappuccino is the title track in a way. There is a gender shift in Na Jaane Kahan Se Aaya because we can't take out the Jaane Kahan Se Aayi bit from it. The music of I, Me or Me, as I mentioned to you, I've been listening to all the songs in the morning, and I think it's a promising album. Cappuccino has come out recently as well. I think that's in a way, it's a title track because you're having the I, Me or Me element coming into it, and it is quite catchy, as well as that entire element of Cappuccino because the youth can relate to it, because I think आज के time में youth जो हैं, they can't live without the cappuccino. It is a part of the culture as well. Cappuccino, मैं हसीनों ने दे दिया है दिल खोल कर. Something about the music of the film. I think there's one more song, Meri Jaane, I believe. I think that's a beautiful song, in fact.
I personally think we have a very interesting album. We have a mix of a whole lot of songs where there's, one full-on number like a Na Jaane, and then there's a peppy number, a track like Cappuccino, which is the title track, I, Me or Me. There's a very nice romantic song which is Meri Jaane. It's not on air yet. And then there's Darbadar. I think we have a mix of like a lot of different kinds of songs. Well. Beautiful lyrics.
Nice lyrics as well.
Very
yeah.
nice lyrics for both Darbadar and for Saajna. I think it's a fantastic album.
About Saajna, I think that's a beautiful song and a very Sufi sort of element into it, and a beautiful number. Lyrics are very fine. So what do you have to say about that?
Actually there's a very beautiful thing about the song Saajna, and it's really interesting. In the whole film, Chitrangda and me only have this one point where, we come in conflict with each other. There's no face-off as such. There are none of those typical dialogues between two women happening, or, none of that. But it's just very different. It's a completely silent scene. Nobody says anything. Saajna. when the makers edited the scene, they thought that this bit is it's come out so well. They wanted to extend that, and they wanted to, highlight that a little more. So they decided to compose a special track for that. That's where you get to hear this beautiful song Saajna, because it's just come out from nowhere and it's just fit into everything so beautifully. In fact, when I was dubbing for the film, and they were trying to, I was supposed to dub the scene that comes immediately after that, but just for the flow, they played the song and then we had to go on to the next scene. Oh God, it took me the longest time to just come out of that, because it's such a beautiful moment.
That's true.
It completely like sucked me in, and it took me a while to kind of zone out and be like, oh my God, I need to come back to being Gauri. It's a beautiful song.
The entire experience of working with John Abraham and Chitrangada Singh, because from what we gather, it seems to be a bit of a love triangle as well.
Pretty much as whatever you want to perceive it as. It was lovely working with John. I think he's most definitely become one of my favorite co-stars. He's extremely charming, and I think that his smartness finally now he's always been a tough, intelligent, smart guy, but now that he's turned producer, it's really interesting to kind of see him on the sets now, because there's a different side to him. There's this extra involvement, and which also is not, I'd say, which doesn't seem like he's crossing the line or anything. He's a producer, he is an actor, and he just gives these small suggestions somewhere, and you just realize that, oh my God, this is the most important thing that nobody thought about, and he just comes up with those. As an actor also, I think in this film, I can only imagine him in this particular role. I think he just fits the bill completely. I thoroughly enjoyed, because it's so important to have a co-star who's giving you your space, lets you do what you have to, because then you don't have to worry about anything. You just have to, you're given this look, you just have to get into the character and do your bit. That's about it. So we had a great rapport, and for the two of them, they're meant to be like neighbors, and they're meant to be very good friends. So that whole energy had to be upped, and she talks a lot. Gauri talks a lot. She's always giving Ishan lots of gyan, lots of lecture.
That's what he says as well.
That's what he says. So I gyan deti rehti ho, lecture deti rehti ho.
Lazy ass. You're so beautiful. You're so full of shit.
You women na gyani baatte rahe.
That's what she keeps doing. So for us, he had to just keep listening, and yet we had to improvise here and there, and it used to come naturally and just like on the spot, and it was just perfect. We matched it like completely.
What is the experience of men in terms of that? Do you think that they're generally full of themselves and they're all about I, me or me? And they tend to be kids, I think, as well. As you're mentioning the man-child element into it. I think men are somewhere, they remain kids even when they're growing older, in fact.
I think men as a breed are like that. You just can't help it.
Right. They're like horses, huh?
They just refuse to grow up. It takes a lot of time. I mean, for women, they just mature so easily and they become responsible. And, we have a balance, I think, in life. But for men, they just refuse to grow up. I think it's a story where everybody is going to relate to Ishan.
Hi, me, मैं खुद ही बोलते रहोगे या दूसरों को भी अपनी तारीफ करने का मौका दोगे?
I think all the girls are going to look at their boyfriends and be like, that's you. And all the moms are going to be like, oh my God, that's my son. Because I think boys are like that. And especially in India, they're all mama's boys. About the selfish bit and self-centered and egoistic, and yeah, up to a certain age that is there. In Ishan, it's a bit more. And for as far as all the boys are concerned, yeah, they don't grow up.
Okay, the men don't grow up. Okay, and women give gyan. Okay.
Women like to talk.
Women like to talk, yeah.